We Make Movies, Film Geeks podcast, episode number 91. Welcome to the We Make Movies podcast, making the world a better place, one film at a time. And now, here are your hosts, three aspiring sellouts, Chad, Michelle, and Garrett. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast. It's all about how to get your movie made, how to get seen by other people, and how to get it awesome. I'm your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, faithful co-host Chad Kukahiko and Michelle Lucadou. We are all of us independent filmmakers and members of the We Make Movies filmmaking community in Los Angeles. What's up, guys?
Sorry about my
Good
phone.
afternoon, Garrett Robinson.
My phone ding.
Your phone dinged in the middle of the intro? I didn't hear it. I think it's fine.
I just turned it.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Oh, we missed you so much, Michelle. It's good to have you back after the absence last week. Last week, I finally re-recorded a new intro that fixed the sound problems, could load up on my new iPad. It worked. It used the new line that Chad invented when he did the show the last time he produced the show, and you weren't here, and I was just like, God damn it.
Sorry.
But now, everything is right. The planets have aligned. Everything is working.
I don't know if I invented that. I think I stole that from something you had written down.
Maybe a while ago?
Like when we first started, before we actually even started doing this, but like we had a bunch of ideas. I can't remember what anyway.
I should record some variations, and we should get that going, because I really like the new intro. As always, if you're watching this live, please... Good. If you're watching this live, please feel free to comment on the YouTube channel or tweet us at #WeMakeMovies, and we will respond live. And we begin, as always, with the news topics. Chad, you want to tell us a little about our We Make Movies thingy?
Yeah, so September 1st is right around the corner, and that means that we are opening submissions for the short film challenge. So we've been, if you're not already familiar with it, if you're not already familiar with our film collective, we're a collective of filmmakers, and we basically all kind of pitch in through our Patreon page, patreon.com/WeMakeMovies, and that's how we pay for everything. Now, once we hit like kind of our nut, once we pay for all the workshops, then everything that we raise over that, 70% of it goes into a fund for us to make films. And so the first film, we all voted on it in, I think, April, is going to be a short film as soon as we hit $5,000. So we're over $2,000 at the moment, and we're well on our way, and it really looks like we're going to hit $5,000 without a problem. Worst case scenario, June next year, but I'm hoping we can do it a lot faster. So we're going to figure out which short will be that first short, and it's happening. Submissions are open September 1st through, I guess, the exact date. I thought I knew the exact date, but apparently that's in question. But definitely in September, you can submit, which means you want to be a member in September, which means if you are not a member right now, you need to hurry up and go to the Patreon page right now, and that's patreon.com/WeMakeMovies, and become a member. And it only is $10 or $20 if you really like us, and you can submit a short film during the month of September. So it has to be 7 pages or less. It has to be producible for $5,000 if it's like in an airport terminal. If it's, you know what I mean. There's a variety of ways. There's no way you could do it for $5,000.
Green screen.
Yeah.
I feel like Michelle should like put together a jingle that we should play, like remember, be a September member or something like that.
I don't know if there's much time.
Yeah, that's a little cheesy. Do you guys know what a Mexican speedball is?
I am aware of what a Mexican speedball is. Yes.
I am not.
Are you enjoying one on this fine Sunday afternoon?
Well, most people say
speedball?
like a Mexican speedball. I mean, the traditional Mexican speedball is not exactly this, but I am kind of making one out of.
What is that?
This is espresso, and this is white wine, and this is my sundae.
Okay.
Chad just threw up in his mouth a little bit.
I'm not an espresso guy at all. I'm honestly not a coffee guy. It gives me anxiety attacks.
Oh wow.
So
yeah. No, I get why that wouldn't be your thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you drink it with wine.
We have
speaking of
updates about every white person's favorite movie this weekend.
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, my boyfriend grew up in Orange County, right around this time where all this music was. So speaking of Straight Outta Compton, and he is like so excited about it. He and all of his high school friends, like they know every word to every Easy song. It's amazing. But the fallout from the release of Straight Outta Compton, it's getting a little cray-cray. As expected, the LAPD openly protested the release of the film in LA. Yep. And in an interview, yeah, well, because in an interview with TMZ, Police Protective League leader, his name's Denisine, said the movie portrays cops as quote-unquote beating machines. He said it's a terrible time to release a movie like this, and it adds fuel to the fire for hating cops. So apparently, so basically, in a nutshell, at a time when like allegations of police brutality are basically at an all-time high, the film is kind of stirring the pot. On the other side, though, it made a solid.
I'm curious where those guys are at when all the movies show all the black people as the frightening. Like, where's their protest then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess it's different, so it's making the news. But on the other side, the film made an amazing $56.1 million in its debut weekend. So
which
I'll be saying it.
Double Fantastic Four.
Universal was optimistic. Universal was very optimistic about the film's opening weekend, and they said, we think, and like we know this is crazy because it's an R-rated film, but we think it's going to make $25 million opening weekend. People are like, okay, yeah, but you're the studio. Like, of course you're going to say that. It made $56
Holy cow, that's fantastic.
It doubled Universal's guess of what they kind of hoped it would be.
And it doubled their budget. Their budget, they had there's like a $29 million budget or something like that.
Which means it probably actually just broke even in actual fact.
But in its opening weekend, you know, like it's going to do
absolutely, that's fantastic. Their Rotten Tomatoes has gone down a tiny bit. It was 92%. Now it's at like 88, but still high. Audience score 96.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I have friends who have. And LA is not the only situation where the cop thing is happening. In fact, many theaters around the country have been getting security details, and like cops have been coming and standing guard at the movie theater, which is I mean, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but every mass theater shooter in that we've seen is white, not black. I'm just, I don't know. I'm not trying to like, but it's like, what? It's crazy. It's definitely, oh God, it's such a dangerous topic to go into at all. But like, my kind of default response is like, you know, at a time when opinion against the police is at an all-time high, it's like, well, yeah, at a time when videos of cops shooting 12-year-old children is at an all-time high, like. I mean, I'm sorry, but like you can't act like there's no reason for the
exactly,
you know,
exactly,
and
because it's like presumably this has been happening all along,
right?
And only now the point. Cell phone video can we see that it's happening,
right? Like,
that's the craziness about it. And then when you see, you know, listen, I'm not anti-cop at all. I love cops, and when I'm actually one-on-one with them, I do really well, but there's clearly a majority, or at least a large amount of police, like the concept in the world of policemen is that they do everything that they tell you to do and do it immediately. Like that's insane. Yeah, that's insane, and it's only here. It's only in the United States.
And this is a whole thing, but like. The Supreme Court ruled in an actual decision, I forget how long ago it was, but they ruled that cops don't have to know the laws pertaining to like what they're arresting or searching somebody for. But you have ignorance of the law is not an excuse for you. Like, you're not innocent if you don't know the law. So if a cop wants to search you and doesn't know that it's illegal for him to request it, that's okay. But it's just
culturally, we're really screwed up as a country. I mean, really screwed up as a country when it comes to policemen honestly, even to some degree, soldiers. You know what I mean? People in authority. We have this insane, at least as far as I can tell, just automatic sort of trust, and you cannot question them, and you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I have some personal friends who are cops, and I sound like a person saying I'm not racist because I have a black friend, but I have some personal friends who are cops, and I know that there are a lot of cops who, and some of them have spoken about it, but I know that there are a lot of cops who see what's going on in all these stories, and they're like, this is absolutely fucked up, and what this person did was completely wrong, and they should be suspended, and they should be thrown off the force without pay. But the thing is that there is a huge cultural thing about don't speak out. It's like a military thing. It's like you don't want to badmouth, you don't want to go against. It's like turning against your brothers or whatever the hell.
Well, it's like Serpico, you know? Yeah. It's totally Serpico.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's God willing, we will change. God willing, we will get better. I mean, it's hilarious how, and it's not, to be completely honest, I don't honestly think that cops are the problem per se. I think it is our entire freaking country. I don't think it's just cops who have this idea. I think this is an idea that, like, our entire country shares.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And just, anyway. Chad, please take us away from this quickly.
Okay, so totally different topic. There is a I don't know if you guys have ever heard. Have the two of you guys ever heard of Attack on Titan?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, you'd think I would be. Not a fan.
You're not a fan of the anime?
Haven't seen the anime, but I read the manga, and I disliked it so much that I didn't even try the anime.
Oh, I never read the manga. I actually never read any manga. I read comic books, but not manga. Anyway, I'm not racist against Japanese people. The backwards thing.
You have a Japanese friend.
I can't get down with it. I have lots of Japanese friends. And I actually haven't even watched much of the anime, just a little bit. And the concept is so freaky that the anime doesn't interest me as much as the live-action version does, and that is about to hit the markets. It's a two-parter, so it's two films, part 1 and part 2. September 30th. Well, it's depending on where you live. Could be September 30th. Could be the following weekend or the weekend after that. But go to Attack on Titan the movie, I think.com, attackontitanthemovie.com, and you can get all that information. You can sign up for the emails and whatnot. And this is the crazy thing. They're releasing part 1 on September 30th or whatever, depending on where you're at. 3 weeks later, whatever market you're in, we'll get part 2. 3 weeks. Not a year.
And these are
between parts 1 and parts 2 getting released. So presumably
feature films.
It's amazing.
Feature films. Yes. I mean, this is out of Japan or China or something. I don't know where they're doing it. But they look, oh my God, they look really bad and sort of B movie, but they look amazing too at the same time. I'm hearing not so fantastic reviews about them from big fans of the manga or anime or whatever. And they don't think that the translation was good or whatever in terms of like the adaptation rather. But to me, it looks amazing. And in fact, this is the only form I'm really interested in watching it. But that's crazy. Like, I actually want to put together a Halloween double feature. I guarantee you somebody's going to have a double feature of it somewhere. I mean, they're coming out like back to back, 3 weeks apart from each other. It's not going to have left the movie theaters yet. So I'm going to see if I can arrange a Halloween double feature screening somewhere.
I'm watching the trailer right now,
amazing.
and it looks like about the production quality of what's that movie, like Jack and the Beanstalk, but like better. Yeah. It's like that production quality.
It's about giants, right? It's like the giants that like come and like eat humans.
They're like giants, but they move like zombies.
Yes,
and they're naked and sexless. And, they're really, but they're creepy looking, and they just pick people up and drop them in their mouths. Like then they don't even, and they're like, I think they regenerate. Like they're like impossible to kill. Like there's like one way you can kill them. It's insane. It's a really cool. It looks amazing.
This is crazy. Right? Yeah, definitely go watch the trailer.
I'm gonna include, and I will include the link to the trailer in the show notes too. By the way.
Yeah. Awesome.
Incidentally, I just watched. I know I'm a little bit behind on this. I just watched Ex Machina last night.
How is it? I want to see it so bad.
Me too.
Oh, it's so pretty. Like the
Really?
film is just beautiful. And like the effects are cool, and it's like the who's the woman that plays the lead? Shoot, I can't think of her name right now, but she's freaking stunning, perfect, gorgeous, and like the perfect AI woman ever. And it's just it was great. I like it.
I don't know almost anything about the movie except that like half a dozen people are like, you have to go see it. You have to see it.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
By the way, we're getting some comments from Mr. Patrick Duncan on the thing.
Oh.
I don't know why they're not showing up on the comment tracker. When they don't, Patrick, I apologize if they don't show up on the comment tracker. I cannot post the link. But he said he's been arrested multiple times and he always puts up some kind of resistance. but he's alive to tell about it, and he doubts that an African American would be if he were. And he said Japan or China. Big difference, Chad. Is Hawaii the Philippines because they share an ocean?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Touché, but I wasn't. I was honestly, when I saw the trailer, and by the way, I can tell the difference between the languages just by telling. I don't understand what they're saying, but I can totally tell the difference. But I was just so caught up with the naked giant creatures on the trailer, I wasn't paying attention to the language.
Naked giants destroying the world.
Yeah, it's incredible. I cannot
wait.
So
do naked giants have? I mean.
No, they're sexless. They look like Ken dolls. Yeah.
Okay, you know where I was going with that.
Yep. That's why I said sexless when I said that.
I think everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Darn.
All right. Moving on. We talked about it last week a little bit, but Fantastic Four or okay. Are we done?
Giant dick.
Oh, the Schadenfreude.
Go ahead.
Oh, the Schadenfreude.
We talked about it last week, but Fantastic Four or Thorntastic is still having a lot of trouble. It has landed itself among the top 10. Okay. I have to see if I can say this. It has landed itself among the top 10 biggest comic book movie second weekend drop-offs of all time.
How could they have a big drop-off when they barely made any money the first weekend?
Well, somehow, Thorntastic managed it. Basically what it means is that in its second weekend, it dropped by 69% at the box office. That is the sixth worst drop of any comic book film in history. So
its Rotten Tomatoes score went down. I didn't think it was possible for it to go down, but it's gone down.
Yeah.
It went from 9 to 8% in critics, and from 26 pub audience score to 22%.
Well, somebody brought up
straight out of Compton. Nobody cares.
Yeah, somebody brought up a really good point, which is that with all, like, even with all of the, everybody's talking about all the reasons that this movie sucks, but despite all those reasons, and despite, I think, a lot of people knowing better, I think the person who's going to come out the worst in this is the director, Josh Trank, who is probably never going to work with Fox again.
No.
Yeah, he's had
major studios are probably done with that guy.
Which sucks because like his first film that I saw was Chronicle, and I loved it. I thought it was promising.
I liked it too.
I hope that he finds a route. I hope that he finds some indie projects that'll take him on.
Absolutely, he will. I mean, this isn't the first time that a director's talked smack about the studio version of his picture.
Yeah,
and they've survived.
It's like I think that other studios might recognize that, but still, it's like there's the whole box office poison reputation. So
I listen. I guarantee you, he'll get money from somebody, and then when it looks really good, a studio's not going to be stupid and turn down money. You know what I'm saying? He'll do good movies.
And it's Hollywood. People forget about things like in a year or two. Incidentally, have you guys seen the new Hateful Eight trailer?
I have.
It's out. Oh.
Yeah, go check it out after the show. It's pretty good.
So exciting.
But also, speaking of forgetting about things after a year, Fox is still producing the sequel. They're still just going, just like there's nothing.
Well, they kind of have
aren't they contracted?
They have to hold on to the property. Otherwise, it reverts back to Marvel. They have to do something. They'll do either reboot. They'll do something. They'll pare it down. They'll make it cheaper, but they're gonna do it because they're gonna have to.
They would like maybe wait because they have 5 years. I think is the contract. Would maybe just wait a couple of years.
I have a feeling that that when the dust settles from this fiasco, that that whatever they're saying, it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Maybe they can do the anime version.
I don't know what the contract.
That one never went well.
Michelle, tell us about another reboot that is going
to Ghostbusters.
Be better.
Ghostbusters reboot. I'm so excited. It's Sony, and they set a date of July 22nd, 2016. I'm ready for the premiere with my Proton Pack. So I was looking at the Wikipedia or the cast that is coming out, and it's if you haven't heard, the new Ghostbusters team is all female, which is going to be amazing. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, and then of course, a lot of the folks from the first ones are going to make some cameos, and it's going to be awesome. So I've already it's already in my planner. What is? Oh,
hold on, I'm gonna highlight Chad's.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's probably, I probably should not be showing this because it was from somebody designed some stuff for a different reboot that happened back in the day, and then it didn't happen. So I was a friend who is a friend of the person who designed these, and so.
Well, if you're a listener to the audio feed, you better go check out the YouTube video because there's some really kick-ass Ghostbuster posters that you are going to want to go see.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody because I don't think I'm supposed to show those.
Okay, good. Well, let's put it on a YouTube video then. That is clearly
fine. With our huge viewership, it's the same as it remaining completely anonymous.
Yeah. Let's get into the main topics. Chad, you are up first.
Hold please. Amazon has brought in the three men behind the BBC show Top Gear to create a Top Gear style show for Amazon Prime. Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, said that getting them to come over was, and this is a quote, very, very expensive, but worth it. Of course, the worth it part remains to be seen, but Amazon is really trying to get people to watch Prime, so I guess they think it's worth spending the money. What's really interesting to me about the whole, I mean, it's not like we haven't talked about this before. We talk about this a lot, but it's so interesting that they don't really seem to care about their user interface, and yet they're constantly putting money behind the content.
Well, now I would say that now what they're trying to make their user interface is the Fire TV, which I find actually quite pleasurable to use.
Well, why don't we make that translate to the website? Because what if you're not on the Fire TV? I mean, and the Kindle user interface is also really good. So Kindle Fire, I imagine, also has a solid interface. But why would they not translate that to their regular old website? I'm a Prime user because I buy a ton of stuff from Amazon, and I love their free shipping. So it pays for itself for me. But I never watch Prime. Like I don't have a Fire Stick. I don't have a TV at all. I'm just purely. Oh, hilarious. It took me a while. I was like, what? Oh, I don't have a Fire.
Are you a Titan?
You're cut off. You're cut off. You are cut off. The thing that really I've been so frustrated, I'm dying to get, is just this behind the scenes info. The behind the scenes data that Amazon has, that Netflix has. Like I have the strangest feeling that if I could get my hands on that data, I'd be doing a better job at what Amazon is doing than what Amazon is doing. They're morons. I mean, Netflix is clearly doing, and I don't know, maybe the content, maybe they are making a lot of money off the stuff that they're doing, but I don't think so. I mean, Amazon, I think they've been or rather they've lost. They've been at a loss for the last like 3-4 years in a row. You know what I mean? Like they've
on video, you mean?
No, in general.
Oh, really?
As huge as they are, and what's bizarre is that apparently their stock prices continue to go up, but they have like been an unprofitable company for like 3-4 years in a row, and it's insane. And I just think, God, I'm not 100% surprised. I'll be honest with you, because I have had some experience with Amazon. I will not express the the specific. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, so I won't say how or why or what the project was. But I was involved on a project, and so I saw the way that people had to kind of just beat around the bush with Bezos. I mean, it was crazy. The dude sounds like he's a little bit of a tyrant. I mean, I love what he's created, and I love like that. I don't know if you saw that thing that his wife, like, I can't remember what it was. I think it was some book that was about them that you can buy on Amazon. And so the reviews, yeah, that was interesting. So it was like, and it wasn't a very, it was not and I'm sure that that goes a little bit too far. I don't know. His wife's review is amazing, though. His wife's review on Amazon of this sort of anti-Amazon book it's incredible. If I can find it, I'll put it in the show notes. But it's I think my sense of it was, at least based on her review, and it was very well reasoned, was that the book went too far with a variety of things. But honestly, my sense of it is that Bezos just doesn't know how to run so many different things, and he's trying to run everything like it's a book selling company.
Right.
And he's really good at selling books, but video is not books. He needs somebody else. He needs somebody else to be running that stuff. And his marketing department too. Hey, I'm not,
Oh, right.
Yeah, I obviously have a huge. Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, I just said Ryan Kavanaugh might be needing a job.
I have a huge conflict of interest with Amazon, obviously, because I make pretty much most of my money through Amazon, and yet I hear these stories about, like a bad place to work and, not good conditions for their employees and all that kind of thing, and I'm just sort of like, that sucks because
Is that true about them, or is it of their contractors? Because I'm hearing that about their contractors. I'm not hearing about them. I mean, unless you're close to Bezos, where it's like, it sounds like it's just like your life is one long anxiety attack.
Yeah, I've heard it about multiple of departments. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
But
wasn't there a lawsuit a while ago, like a year ago or something?
Amazon gets a new lawsuit every day. It's
but
that size, I'm sure.
The workers, like the people, the employees of Amazon.
Again, there's like new ones all the time.
There was definitely something, but it was about contractors of Amazon. It wasn't about. I think they were trying to form a union or something was going. I can't remember, but anyway.
Well, one thing I will say is that using the Fire TV has made us. We watch almost exclusively Amazon now, like almost exclusively, and they have. Yeah, totally. They have a really fucking dickishly clever thing set up where if you're an Amazon Prime member and you have your your Amazon Fire Stick, you go on there and there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff that's free. All this stuff. I started watching Legend of Korra with my kids and they love it, and I love that they love it because I love that show. And it's fantastic. And then you finish season 2 and they say season 3 is only $30, and you're like, God damn it! And the
kids are like, Daddy, buy it, Daddy.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
You have Prime.
They make the first 2 seasons of all these shows free, which I think is great because, like, I've always wanted to check out certain shows that have never been on Netflix and stuff. And watching it is just as easy or easier than Netflix. And they do make it where it's just literally like your Amazon account is loaded in. Do you want to just buy it? You just have to push that button, man. Just push it. Just do it.
I heard a rumor recently that that after season 2, that is the most common time for a television show to be not renewed. Are you laughing at me or Patrick?
No, Patrick. I just wish his comments would show up in the comment tracker because I can't talk about it.
It's almost as though Google Hangouts has a number of problems that they've never fucking fixed.
He asks, "Who's doing the Sigourney Weaver role in Ghostbusters? Please let it be Ryan Gosling."
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that traditionally, statistically, most television shows that are the most common time for a show to be or not get a new season is right after season 2. Because of the automatic SAG pay bumps. Like everyone can renegotiate, like all actors can renegotiate their contracts and have to get like a percentage pay bump or something. So yeah,
In digital, though, I don't know if, I mean, especially if it's a show made for digital, like Transparent and some of these others, I have a feeling that none of those contracts actually relate, especially
Well,
because
they're all still SAG-AFTRA contracts.
yeah, but it's digital.
It's
totally different contract.
Yeah,
TV is
I
totally
feel like
different
SAG would not
No, that's the thing. We talked about this last week, which I just realized you weren't here. Is the unions are starting to get into stuff where they're like, hey, so let's start renegotiating some of this online shit because y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, we talked. Vice just signed up. Basically, I can't remember. It was, you could watch last week's show if you want. 75, I think, 75 to 80 writers. But it's it's really smart. They're smart for doing that.
Yeah. Well, I know specifically for producing things like the SAG New Media contract is there are so many people that are applying for a SAG New Media contract. Not that Amazon is in a SAG New Media contract, but it's a big free for all. It's a whole free for all. Speaking of free for alls, not really.
That segue though.
Worst segue ever.
That segue.
But I just saw a documentary trailer called Tab Hunter Confidential. Do you guys know who Tab Hunter is?
No. Negative.
Okay. So it's about this 1950s movie star who was like the all-American guy. His name was Tab Hunter. He had like a 7-year contract with Warner Brothers. He was like the total teenage heartthrob for like years and years and years. He played opposite like Sophia Loren and Debbie Reynolds and Natalie Wood and supposedly like there was a whole controversy that in 1955 there was a tabloid magazine called Confidential, and they reported Hunter had like disorderly conduct that happened, and there was like a huge sensationalistic article, but it was apparently subversively the result of a deal that Henry Wilson made in exchange for not revealing. Henry Wilson, the agent, made the deal to out Tab Hunter in exchange for not revealing the sexuality of his more prominent client, Rock Hudson. So anyway, in this documentary, it's really interesting. Like movie stars of like the golden age talk about like sexuality and the Hollywood taboo on like revealing any sexual tendencies other than being heterosexual. Or any, obviously in 1950s, it's, it would ruin your career, apparently, if you came out as gay. But interestingly enough, though, I just saw an article that was entitled, and I quote, 13 gay celebs who married the opposite sex as a cover-up. Like, seriously, this just came out. This is just an article. It includes, like, Rock Hudson and Alan Cumming and Elton John and, like, all of these people, and I mean, it's just,
I'm
so
sorry,
frustrating.
I hate those listicle things.
Right? I do too.
Of 1,000 Suns. They're the worst kind of clickbait.
I thought we were past, I thought we as a community in Hollywood were past it. So I was talking to one of my friends who I shot a commercial with, like, probably 5 years ago. We stayed a friend. And he prefers men, and he, according to his agent, is not allowed to, it was like basically forbidden to openly proclaim his sexuality, relationships, or anything else on social media or anything that would make him seen anything other than heterosexual, because his agent said it would mess up his brand. Still, today, like now, like this month, like in 2015, this is still happening. So, but I mean, I guess I thought we were done with it. Straight guys are playing gay guys are playing straight. Like when we're playing, like it's bust a move. Everybody love on everybody. Have we not moved forward, or is this just a thing?
No, not even a little bit.
But let me explain a little bit about Hollywood. Hollywood, and this is true actually. It might seem unrelated, but it's totally related. Like the technology behind Hollywood, behind all the casting things. Like I have been kind of talking with some developer friends of mine to see if there are ways to kind of bring Hollywood infrastructure into the, 20th century even. You know, they're so behind. And it's the problem is you can't get, because people get stuck in their ways. You won't. It's hard to get the adoption up. It's hard to get the people in the agencies and the casting offices to use newer products. So, because they're just like, well, why would I change? This is already working. And it's true, like, across the board with a lot of different Hollywood stuff. There was a company that I worked for called BLT Tomato, and they did a lot of the promo materials for movies. And these guys were using Quark when nobody else was using Quark. Like, we had the rest of the industry, everybody in advertising, like, that's the interesting thing. Movies over here, advertising here, but when you had to bring them together, movies would drag them down. So, like, we had to work on the oldest, and it's the same across the board. I mean, you see all these old managers and agents just acting like they're in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's a weird, I think that the rest of the world changes, and then Hollywood, the Hollywood infrastructure is on a massive lag.
Which is weird, because so many independent filmmakers and so many artists are always trying to be avant-garde and on the cutting edge, and so many of them are. They're always talking about things that, like, general mainstream society isn't usually ready to talk about, and those are the things that always get, you know, acclaim and everything like that. But we still live in a fucking industry where all these, you know, producers out there think that you can't have a successful film with a female lead, or that it's harder, despite all these films being made that disprove it. They're like, well, but that's just an exception. It's like, anyway.
Yeah. You're muted, Michelle.
Sorry. So here's the question. I mean, really comparing film and television, are they on completely different levels as far as this is concerned? I mean, like, you know, you look at Eric Stone Street, you look at, and someone typed in the notes, I think it was probably Chad, Sense8. Is TV dragging Hollywood along with them into the next century?
Like Sense8 is not only an excellent example of this. There is one of the main characters is a trans woman who's played by an actual trans woman. One of the main characters is a gay man played by a straight man, but in the show he is a huge Mexican actor, multi-blockbuster, just, you know, like smash hit movie action actor, but he's gay. And he can't reveal that, because if he does, his career is nuked. So they're talking about it in a show that is already doing so much about representation and has multicultural, multiracial, multisexual representation. I mean, Sense8. I mean, I'm a big Sense8 fanboy. So
I haven't seen it yet. I actually am going to. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Please do.
It's really good.
I'm excited.
As a note,
you won't watch the whole thing in one night.
No. I say this to everybody, even people who I think will like it for the filmmaking. Filmmaking, like, I loved it right off the bat just because of how well it's made. Story-wise, my wife Megan didn't like it until episode 3, but by the end of episode 3, she was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." So, like, if you watch the first episode and it hasn't, like, totally hooked you yet, give it a little bit. I guarantee you won't not like it very, very shortly. So there you go.
Interestingly enough, speaking of TV, you know, tonight is the last episode of season 2 of The Last Ship, and I know that you guys aren't like big Last Ship fans. I'm a huge Last Ship fan. I think it's so fun.
Michael Bay.
And I love Michael Bay. I love Eric Dane. I love the cast. It's just like, it's like a fun guilty pleasure for me. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out, because they are on the precipice of the terrifying season 3. Eric Dane gets a pay raise. So or maybe not.
So if not enough people watch it and it doesn't make it popular enough, it's going to be canceled.
I mean, I as most television.
I'm sorry. How can I get it canceled? That's all I'm really asking.
That's what the question really was.
Have you seen it?
I think I should watch the pilot.
You have not. The pilot is actually.
I'm just not a Bay fan. I mean, like.
Okay, here's the.
Well,
Chad,
it's not your traditional Michael Bay. And by the way, the pilot, I think I'd be interested in knowing how much money they spent on the pilot, because there are explosions and there's a fucking ship. Like,
no. There's explosions. Hold on, this is a Michael Bay project.
Wait.
It's expensive and it's great and it's fun and character.
Did you guys ever read the script?
I'm rolling my eyes for those of you who are listening.
Did you ever see
rolling my fucking eyes?
The script of the Dark Knight script, as if Michael Bay wrote it?
Yes.
Oh my God, the funny. Have you seen this, Michelle?
It's amazing.
Sorry, I was chugging my wine. No, I haven't.
It is amazing. It is so funny.
Here's what I think we should do, Chad. We should actually do this. You and I should watch the pilot. Yes. And you should write a blog post for We Make Movies, and I should make a YouTube video for my YouTube channel, and we should schedule them both to release, schedule them in advance, both of them to release Friday at like 9 a.m. or whatever. And then on next week's podcast, we can talk about it.
Well, let's discuss this.
Okay.
I'm in heavy pre-production.
Not willing to
no, it's just I'm super busy right now. I have we're in pre-production on 2 different projects, and one of them is a pilot, and it's insane. It's just we start 2 weeks from tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna have to take 2 weeks from tomorrow off, just for the record. Okay. We're shooting Baked Ziti 2 weeks from tomorrow, and then September 20th to the 24th, we're going out to wherever, Big Bear, Julie. We don't quite know yet. We haven't totally locked in. Probably going to be near Big Bear to shoot the pilot of Off the Grid. And nice. I am so excited about that, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
That's going to be great. To talk to you about location for that.
Oh, okay. I think we already have one, but...
Oh, do?
Thanks.
We'll chat.
Okay,
that's how things happen here at We Make Movies.
Word.
I'm going to jump onward here. So, internet superstar, new media mogul, and my personal BFF, Hank Green, wrote a scathing piece about a Facebook video recently, which was published on Medium. In a stunning display of professionalism, I actually linked the article before the show even began. It's right down there right now. If you're watching, you can go read it.
Stunning
unprecedented display of professionalism. Facebook has been making major plays to get into the online video space. I've talked before on this show and many times on my own YouTube channel about reasons that I hate Facebook, including how if you have a Facebook page, a professional page, an artist page, or whatever, and somebody likes the page indicating that they want to hear from you, there's only a 15% chance that anything you post will be seen by those people, which is, of course, freaking moronic. Like, that's just dumb. But that's the algorithm.
15% chance?
Do you know what are the Twitter stats for that? Do you know? Twitter,
if you follow somebody, their tweets just show up on your timeline. Period. No matter what.
Like chronological on Twitter, and there's like some kind of algorithm on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Facebook, you can't actually even sort chronological anymore. They've completely removed it. Even when there's a function, there's most popular and most recent, but most recent just skews the algorithm in favor of most recent. It doesn't actually show you everything in chronological order. So this is why Facebook is terrible. In terms of Facebook pages, I don't know exactly what the statistics are on a personal page, but this is on pages, okay? So one of the things Facebook has done in order to make themselves more of a player in the online video space is that if you upload a video directly to Facebook as a Facebook video, that algorithm cancels out. They show it to basically all of your followers. I mean, they show it to a significantly high percentage, and if anybody watches it, likes it, or comments on it, they'll just go ahead and show it to everybody.
No wonder I'm seeing more of those. By the way, for the record, I never, ever show those. Like, I never, ever do that, and why would you do like, that's so stupid.
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just take the YouTube link and embed it in a Facebook post, which is what most people think is what you're supposed to do? No, because Facebook will say, no, we don't want people watching a video from YouTube. We want them to watch it if you uploaded it directly. So That's a thing. That's a little dicey right off the bat. Facebook also isn't as good about ad revenue as YouTube is. Therefore, it's very weird. Like if somebody has a big YouTube following and they start uploading videos directly to their Facebook page, they're going to lose money by doing that because people won't click through and watch it on YouTube. But then again, you get more views, so it's hard, right? But it's actually, you guys, it's so much worse. Facebook claimed in a report of their statistics of 2014, they said that they got as many video views as YouTube. How did they manage to do this? Well, they count views after 3 seconds. YouTube counts views after 30 seconds, because if you go to a YouTube page and within 30 seconds you leave the YouTube page, you were probably lured there by something that you didn't actually want to see, realized it was something you didn't want to see, and left. Facebook, if it's played for 3 seconds, then it's a view. But Facebook doesn't even require you to unmute the video for it to count as a view.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so you know how you're going down your news feed and you stop to read a friend's actual status update, and below it there's a video that's just sort of playing and you're not watching it and it's not making any sound? If that goes on for 3 seconds, that's a video view. Wow. So that's how Facebook got as many views, quote unquote, as YouTube in 2014. Hold on to your butts because there's even more. Facebook has a major problem with what's called... What?
Okay.
She's actually holding on.
She's actually holding on to her butt. Facebook has a major problem with what's called freebooting, which is when someone steals video content and uploads it to their own Facebook page. A lot of popular YouTube videos are freebooted to Facebook pages. You know, somebody like the Vlogbrothers upload a video, somebody steals the video off of YouTube and uploads it directly to their unrelated Facebook page, like haha funny video or whatever, and gets millions and millions of views on it. Now, a lot of those views are the bogus 3-second views, but a lot of them are not, and that is a ton of lost revenue for these YouTube creators. Facebook's copyright claim system is unbelievably slow, and it almost seems like it's intentional, because if your video is freebooted, and somehow you find out about it, which somebody has to notify you, you won't be able to get it removed for more than a week, by which point it will already have gained the majority of views that it would ever have gotten. So if a video gets 90% of its lifetime views in the first week it's uploaded, then a week delay on removing a stolen video doesn't help the creator at all. But it does help Facebook, so do they not?
This is annoying. It sucks that like companies that I want to love are starting to become dickheads. Like,
yeah.
So interestingly enough, oh sorry, Garrett.
Well, these things make like the whole Facebook thing pretty dodgy. Hank is obviously super pissed about it, but as a YouTube creator who doesn't put ads on my videos anyway, I don't make any money off of YouTube ads. I make all of my money off of Patreon. My takeaway from the article was, honestly, I'm going to start uploading my videos directly to my page, because I don't want it to be stolen. I want Facebook to show my videos to more people who like my page without them having to check my YouTube every day, and I don't honestly care about my view count on Facebook. So really, it's just data. And I feel kind of crappy about doing it, but I would rather upload my videos directly myself than have them freebooted and stolen by somebody else. But obviously, this is something Facebook needs to fucking address. Like, this is just not cool at all in any way. Yeah. So there's a little data for.
Gonna do it.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the thing is like it's not. I'm not harming or contributing to the harm necessarily by doing it. The only thing I could do in protest would be to remove myself from Facebook entirely, which would just be stupid. Yeah. Like, there's no, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a really shitty creation.
They could be sued, though, over antitrust.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and believe me, Google's going to make that case.
Yeah.
I've been pretty pretty vehement on checking out stats. As far I'm starting a new web series, shooting in 2 weeks, and it's so I'm looking at like different platforms to like get people to see it, that kind of thing. So I was doing some research about social media in general, and because like I randomly, I'm not really a Twitter person, but like I went to this event and it was cool, and like Jenna Elfman was there and she did something cool and I tweeted about it, and then she like retweeted it and like responded, and then like followed me, and then like I got like 27 more followers because Jenna Elfman like followed me, and I was like, oh, okay.
And the two of you made out. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Not
yet.
In my head. Sorry. Continue.
Reference last point.
You people are freaks.
But no, so I looked up because I was like, because I personally, as a I don't want to call myself older, but like as a not very young person, like say 18 to 25-year-old person, am largely Facebook centric. So I did a little research. 71% of online adults use Facebook, but only 23% of online adults use Twitter.
Yeah, but you break that down a little bit, you're gonna see that the older, like Facebook is much more for older people now. Like
right,
all the youngins.
The mean age of Facebook is 41.
No. Yeah. No, I knew that.
And the mean age of Twitter
old, Chad,
is 26.
Whatever. I'm just saying it's older than I thought it was going to be. That's all I'm trying to say.
I thought it could have even been a little bit older because a lot of the like younger people are they're not on Facebook because they don't. I mean, they're on Facebook when they want to interact with their family, but to them, their family isn't really important to them right now. To them right now, it's their social circles that are closer to their age range, and those people are hanging out on like Snapchat. They're on different things that where the parents won't see them. You know what I mean?
I don't want to make everything even worse and more depressing, but my friend Dave Bulmer just notified me on Twitter that Twitter is shortly planning on rolling out Facebook-style algorithms so that timelines will no longer be chronological. They will be based on most popular. They've started doing something similar to that where if you log in and you haven't been on in a few hours, they say while you were away, and they show you 5 tweets that were like most popular in your circles, but that's its own cordoned off section, and I don't really mind it because then it's just below that, it's just the chronological thing, but you can see how they're stepping into where I just want to follow people and see what the fuck they post. That's all that I want. That's all I want in the world. I hate this shit.
There are people
maybe like I don't understand quite, like maybe I'm being a little slow here, but like how does that behoove them as a company to step away from the chronologic like posting?
Because if somebody has posted something and it gets more popular, then they want to show it to more people so that more people spend more time on the website so that it becomes more of a, like, it's the thing of the more viral stuff is on your website, the more time people spend on your website seeing advertisements.
I actually don't even mind it.
I don't agree with that.
I actually don't even mind it as long as you give people the option to look chronologically and you treat everybody the same. And that's basically illegal what they're doing, putting their stuff. And they've got to know that they're not going to be able to get away with it for too long.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway,
moving on.
That's what's happening with Facebook and video, and I hope that video creators can take that data and make your own choices with what to do with your content. And that moves us towards the end of the show. We will end with community news. Please, as always, whether you watch us live on Twitter, on YouTube, because my friend Dave saw us on Twitter. By the way, his channel name on YouTube is Demon Tomato Dave. You should go check him out. He's fantastic.
I love him already. Demon Tomato Dave.
It's amazing, and he wants to hang out with me, even though he has like way more subscribers than I do. So
Does he want to hang out with me?
I will actually guarantee that he does.
Somebody you've never met.
So he's also married, but that I'm just saying, hanging out. There's nothing wrong with hanging out. His name is
Demon Tomato Dave.
Like, it's pretty fantastic, and he's British. You'll love his accent. You'll love it. So, community. Please, whether you watch us live on YouTube or you listen to the audio feed afterwards, please go to iTunes, find the podcast, and give the show a rating. Ratings help other people find us, thereby growing the audience. More people doing more cool things, getting to know each other, more cool things happen. So that is very helpful if you can go to iTunes and rate the show. This week is... There are two things listed here. Yes, but it's Writer's Workshop. There was also Games Night, but I think that was my mistake copy-pasting something. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
This week, the We Make Movies weekly event is the Writer's Workshop, a.k.a. What to Do on a Wednesday Night Until You Get Really Famous, which I have always loved that name so much. It's the workshop where writers in the community bring in scripts that they have written, and they are read by actors in the community, and then feedback is given. It's basically We Make Movies' flagship event. It's kind of completely and totally awesome. Please come on down. We will probably be there, and if you enjoy the podcast, you can actually meet us and touch our skin.
In fact, I will be there, and I will be performing. I'll be reading in one of in the brilliant Brett Fleischer's script, The Crying Saint. So
fantastic. I have been given permission. I'm very excited about this. This isn't going to be for a while yet, but I have been given permission to adapt, to basically to write the first 15 pages of a script that are an adaptation of one of my self-publishing buddies' books, which I asked him like 3 years ago if I could turn it into a script. And he was like, because he didn't really know me at the time, and I was just some weirdo contacting him on the internet. And now he was like, why don't you write the first 15 pages and we'll see how it goes. So when I write them, I'm going to be bringing them in for the Writers' Workshop. I can't wait. You guys are going to freaking love it.
Is he in LA too?
No, he's in Austin.
So I wonder if we could. It'd be really cool if we could try and figure out a way to sort of.
Well, I was gonna video it.
But I'm separately trying to find ways to
live
do
stream?
like a live streaming type of thing where we could, like a Google Hangout, but
YouTube rolled out a whole new live streaming functionality that we should talk about and try and figure out how to.
Let's talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, We Make Movies is the only filmmaking community. Oh, anyway, that's 7:30 p.m. at the Theater Asylum in Hollywood is the last thing. So come down, have fun.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I just had a crazy idea. I don't know if this is possible, but do you think they could live stream 360 video?
I don't think that's possible yet, but that would be amazing.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because then we could just put the thing right in the middle of the space, and then that would be insane.
And then you're just there. You're in the middle of the audience.
He could turn his view and look at the different people asking the questions.
Yeah. Look back at the audience when they're laughing. How hard are they laughing?
So badass.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So that's this. Well, that script is not happening this Wednesday, but the Writers' Workshop is happening this Wednesday. So come on by. It's going to be fun. And finally, We Make Movies is the only filmmaking community supported by the community, so far as we know, in the world. That happens through the website patreon.com, which is a voluntary subscription service that you can use to become a patron of your favorite online artists who produce content that is otherwise free, like all of our events and our YouTube channel and this podcast and everything. It's all supported by our awesome supporters on Patreon. And in addition, every dollar going forward, because Chad always says going forward,
not every dollar. Every dollar, 70 cents of it goes towards a rolling production fund that is used to pay for films to be made by the community, which is pretty freaking cool. So please go and check it out. It's www.patreon.com/WeMakeMovies. You don't need to say the www anymore. Nobody does.
Needed. I don't know why I did
Unnecessary.
that. Incidentally, I think you can do 360 video on Fuse.
You can do 360 video. I just don't think you can live stream.
You can't live stream. That's true.
Yeah. All right. We end, as always, with things to know. My thing to know, if you love Sense8 as much as we do, as much as I do, as much as Michelle does, will when she sees it tonight, Netflix has a little behind the scenes on the making of the show. Have you seen this, Chad?
I haven't watched it, but I've seen that they have it, yeah.
So it's not super educational for filmmakers. It's not like there are some cool tidbits of information about how they did stuff. Mostly if you are a fan of the show, you'll freaking love it. It's just, it's really awesome watching them go through the thing. It's only 25 minutes long. I would have loved if it was as long as an episode, you know, like a 50-minute episode. But it is at least something to tide us over until the next season releases. I want it very badly. So there you go.
Do you want it inside you?
I do want it inside of me. And Chad, I cannot tell you how happy your thing to know makes me.
I didn't know that you were a fan of the. We should play.
Yes, my desk is actually 6 inches higher than normal right now.
Are those dick inches?
Wow.
Are those dick inches though? That's the question.
No. I just put it up on a couple of bricks. God, you fucking sickos, man. It's always something sexual with you guys.
Because you know that dick inches are 60% real.
I've never heard that rule, but boy, is it.
Inches?
No,
so that's dinches?
Dick inches.
Dinches. But no, she's saying dinches. I like that.
Yeah, they're dinches.
I think I would call them dick inches otherwise.
That sucks, Chad.
That sounds a little bit like Dickens, like Charles Dickens.
Dick inches. That's how they say it in England. Dick inches.
Yeah, it's going on in England.
Fantastic.
Anyway, none of the rest of you know what the heck we're talking about. That's right. Is I started this week playing this game called Hearthstone. I don't know if you ever play. It's kind of like Magic the Gathering, which, by the way, I was an enormous fan of back in the 90s. And I owned an obscene amount of cards. I owned so many cards. I was on the road with a show, so I was making money. And I spent all my money on these stupid cards. And so Hearthstone is like sort of a video game version of this that Blizzard makes. And it's a lot of fun, and I've been playing it, and I've been eating it up. It's a really fun game. So check it out if you play video games.
It's so good.
Me, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Is Candy Crush a video game?
Yes.
It is a video game. I've never played it, so I don't know.
So I play video games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so to further distance myself from these, I think there are levels of geekiness, and I'm on like the lower level of geekiness. You guys are kind of on a high level of geekiness,
yes.
Like you kind of collect cards.
You're a theater geek. You're definitely a theater geek.
I'm a total theater geek.
Yeah.
And I'm a geek about a lot of things.
Dance things. You're a dance geek.
You're a B-movie horror geek, which goes into your...
I'm a B-movie horror geek, yeah. So anyway, but this actually like solidifies at least my geekiness on some level. I watched Piranha 3DD this weekend.
I think you're supposed to pronounce it 3DD. I think that's.
I'm doing the acceptable pronunciation of the film.
You're cut off. No more.
3DD, fine. 3DD, but it's 3D. You know what I mean? Like 3D. So it's not like 3D.
Those are double D because boobs.
Because then there's like, I know, but then it's not like 3D. And then like, the movie poster is like some tits with like a piranha between them. You know what I mean?
You need to watch Zombievers.
I have.
You have? Do you know that the producer is one of us, right? Jared.
Yeah.
Jared produced that.
Are you kidding?
Parsons produced it.
What?
I am obsessed with Zombievers.
Yeah.
You talked about it on the show.
I talked about Zombievers, and you didn't say anything, Chad.
I didn't actually know until recently.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
Yes. Jared Parsons.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that amazing? I had no idea.
That's incredible.
Zombievers is one of my favorite B horror movies in the world. Anyway, so I watched Piranha 3DD this weekend. I'm a sucker for a B horror movie. It did not disappoint. The best part was David Hasselhoff. He had a ridiculous cameo, which wasn't a ridiculous cameo, actually. It was like a pretty solid, significant role in the film, though he may have been able to shoot it in like 2 days if he was, if they were really, really good with it. Anyway, so my friends and I played a drinking game where we took a shot every time someone had inconsistent piranha wounds. So they'd be like, oh, God, she's like blood. She's like bleeding from her shoulder and her stomach. And then they cut away and then they cut back and like she's like bleeding from her leg instead of her shoulder. And like it's amazing. And the best part is like Gary Busey gets killed at the very beginning and he's just fucking crazy. And then like he gets killed right after he like bites the head off of the piranha that killed him. You
Fantastic.
You should totally watch it.
Wait. Sorry. He dies after he bites the head off the piranha. So what?
He does. So he's like
cut his jugular.
And he like.
Let's spend a lot of time on this. I wanna clearly understand this. We should devote a lot of airtime to exactly what goes on in this scene. It's very
kind
important.
of like. So I am obsessed
Sarcasm.
with ways that
Brought to
people
you by
die.
Garrett Robinson.
Ooh, you did the sexy voice. So I'm kind of obsessed with like the best / worst ways that people die in horror movies. There is like the quintessential like perfect way that someone dies, which I will tell you is in House of Wax.
At some point, I'm going to pull an Oscars and just start playing the music here. It's just going to fucking happen. I'm just saying.
Anyway, he's like dying and he's dying and he finds the piranha and he like bites the head off and goes, and the piranha like comes up into the camera like whoosh, and then like Gary Busey like dies. It's amazing. It's almost as good as Paris Hilton.
That is the end of the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Sunday at 4:00 p.m. I'm your host, Garrett Robinson. You can find me at garrettbrobinson.com. Chad can be found at superfreako.com. And Michelle is on Twitter at mlucadoo. We'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye.
Because I'm not 41. I'm on Twitter.